we're here today because we have filed charges against the state of New York. We have filed charges against Kathy Hochul. We have filed charges against Letitia James and Mark Schroeder, who is with DMV. This is a new DOJ, and we are taking steps to protect Americans, American citizens, and angel moms, like the mom standing right behind me, who you're going to hear from in a moment. New York has chosen to prioritize illegal aliens over American citizens. It stops today. As you know, we sued Illinois, and New York didn't listen. So now you're next. Millions of illegal aliens with violent records have flooded into our communities, bringing violence and deadly drugs with them. I want you to hear from Tammy. Tammy represents not only herself and her family, but all of the great angel moms around this country who have suffered because of what the Biden administration did, and it is over.
The Trump promise to extend his fascism to the Department of Justice is materializing with Pam Bondi's announcement to charge a group of his political enemies, including Letitia James, for having the nerve to prosecute and win decisions against the 34-time felon in the White House.
And if you don't comply with federal law, we will hold you accountable. We did it to Illinois, strike one. Strike two is New York. And if you are a state not complying with federal law, you're next. Get ready. And the great men and women of law enforcement are standing behind me today. We have FBI, DEA, ATF agents. They put their lives on the line every single day to protect us. And what New York has, they have green light laws, meaning they're giving a green light to any illegal alien in New York where law enforcement officers cannot check their identity if they pull them over. Law enforcement officers do not have access to their background. And if these great men and women pull over someone and don't have access to their background, they have no idea who they're dealing with. And it puts their lives on the line every single day. Violent criminals, gang members, drug traffickers, human smugglers will no longer terrorize the American people. And that is why we are here today. You will be held accountable if you do not follow federal law. It's over, it ends, and we're coming after you.
You know, it's a shame that this angry and aggressive person is using the pain and tragedy of families that lost loved ones to exact revenge on officials like the Attorney General of New York. Letitia James is a target that MAGA has been hyperventilating over going after for a while now.
Existential threat to President Trump's administration, and I mean Doge, Elon Musk, Secretary of Treasury Bessent, Russ Vought, Stephen Miller, all of his people. The existential threat is right here in this city. It is the queen of lawfare. It's Letitia James. Right now, Soros has a DA that's running unopposed. He can call a grand jury at any time. He can set up criminal charges on the most bogus efforts. Letitia James runs this deal. She's got a pliant media right here, pliant left-wing media. She's got a jury pool of only left-wing radicals in the Upper West Side of this city. And she's got the judges, she's got all of it. And I'm calling on right now the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, to begin an immediate criminal investigation into Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, all of it for what they did to President Trump. President Trump, on his Truth Social today, laid it out once again. The existential threat to his administration is this queen of lawfare, Letitia James.
You know, none of these guys have been very good at hiding the actual motivations for pushing the propaganda that every brown person you see is a violent immigrant that invaded the country and fed American children drugs that they bought from them. None of this is surprising.
But wouldn't it be terrible to throw the president's wife and the former Secretary of State, think of it, the former Secretary of State, but the president's wife into jail? Wouldn't that be a terrible thing? But they want to do it. So, you know, it's a terrible, terrible path that they're leading us to. And it's very possible that it's going to happen to them.
One of the lines that really resonated, I think, with people is when you said, my revenge is going to be my success.
Yeah, well, I do believe that, but I will say this. They have started a terrible precedent We've never had this. We do have that in third world countries, banana republics, a lot in South America where they go after somebody politically that's an opponent. We never had it to any great extent, really almost at all.
But you're not going to do that. When you get in office, you're going to look at all your political enemies.
No, I want to make this the most successful country in the world. That's what I want to do.
The confirmation hearings for every one of the president's appointees, including Pam Bondi for Attorney General, were simply an exercise in watching how long each would lie about their goals of making Trump's fascist dreams come true.
Trump asks, suggests, or hints that you as Attorney General should investigate one of his perceived political enemies. Would you do so?
Senator Hirono, I wish you had met with me. Had you met with me, we could have discussed many things and gotten to know.
I'm listening to you now. Could you respond to the question?
Yeah, you were the only one who refused to meet with me, Senator. But what we would have discussed is that it is the job of the Attorney General to
I'm very
follow
happy to listen
the law.
to your responses under oath, Ms. Bondi. So I think it's really important to us that the Attorney General be independent of the White House. And you have a president-elect who considers the AG's office his law firm.
No one is surprised. The senators that voted to confirm the promise to follow through on the subversion of our justice system showed their hands way before Bondi ever dodged those questions about her objectives. And they were jazzed once they got the chance to be a part of it.
So have heard you've been asked about your comment that you thought that in some cases we need to investigate the investigators, the ones who were bad. You know, I have to say, I'm glad to hear you stand by that. We need to do that. You need to do that.
So it's time to buckle up and engage in the fight that everyone saw coming. Because now that the fascism is starting to roll downhill, we might want to start looking back at all the ranting and raving that MAGA supporters insincerely wrote off as just jokes and prepare for them to become a reality. From Trump's rhetoric of the enemies within to his fantasies of unleashing the military on American citizens, they meant everything they said. And before you know it, it'll affect more aspects of our society than the non-believers could have ever imagined. So if you were too kind to call a fascist, all you've done is provided them cover that they no longer need.
Let me just say this to Big Tish James, the New York Attorney General. I dare you to try to continue your lawfare against President Trump in his second term, because listen here, sweetheart, we're not messing around this time, and we will put your fat ass in prison for conspiracy against rights. And I promise you that. So think long and hard before you want to violate President Trump's constitutional rights.